So what's going on?
Hi.
What's going on?
Well, okay, I got a problem with this vehicle here.
Okay.
As you see, the comment is showing fresh here.
Okay.
You make all the big cuts out of it. As you see this, I want to do this. I'm going to start the comment searching here.
Okay.
Pardon?
So what's going on with you?
My daughter and son came home saying that this man grabbed him and choked him. I came around here and asked him, I said, why did you put your hands on my son? He said, oh, he threw some paper. I said, and I told him to pick it up. He said my son didn't pick it up. He defined him, so that's why he did it. Instead of following him home, he said, but y'all don't even live here. It doesn't matter where we live. You don't have the right to grab and choke nobody's son.
Okay.
Nobody. So I have a problem with that. My son is 7 years old. You don't have the right to grab him, choke him behind no paper that he threw. What you should have done, because we have been living here for years, so you know that my house is a door in between yours. You could have came to me. Don't put your hands on my son.
All right. Well, why don't you teach your son not to litter?
I didn't. He can't prove to me that my son littered. But it doesn't matter if he did or didn't. It doesn't give him the right to put his hands on it.
Why not?
Because he don't. It don't. What you mean?
I'm just asking.
Because it don't.
Huh?
It don't. He's not his parent. He's not his parent.
Okay. Why?
So he don't
why are
need
you?
to put his,
Why are you yelling at me?
Because why would you ask me? Why don't I teach him? You don't know what I teach him.
Okay.
And you don't. Whatever you teach your kids don't mean that they go by your rules when they're not in your
Why
sight.
are you yelling at me? If you
Because
keep-
The call was brief. A mother reported a problem involving her child and a neighbor, expecting intervention, not escalation. Within minutes, uniforms arrived, voices overlapped, and authority shifted. What followed was captured not by official equipment, but by a phone held steady enough to record what reports would later struggle to explain. Commands were issued. Questions went unanswered. A situation meant to be resolved instead expanded, pulling in bystanders, children, and consequences no one at the scene appeared to anticipate. The footage would travel far beyond the street where it was filmed, replayed by people who had never been there, and interpreted by institutions that were. Statements were released, charges were filed, then quietly undone. Years later, the case would be referred to as settled, despite leaving critical details unresolved. What happened that day was documented, but not fully examined. If you're listening right now, help me prove something wrong. My mother said I wouldn't even reach 1,000 subscribers, but I believe stories like this deserve to be heard. Help me show her that these true crime stories matter. Please subscribe to channel and let's keep breathing life into stories that were never meant to stay silent. Now, let's continue. The neighborhood in Fort Worth, Texas, where the incident occurred, was residential and quiet, consisting of single-family homes and closely spaced yards. On the day in question, there was no visible emergency when viewed from the street. No active disturbance was underway by the time law enforcement was called. The event began with a 911 call placed by a mother reporting an incident involving her child and a neighbor. According to dispatch records, the call was logged as a disturbance involving a child. The caller stated that her son had been physically handled by an adult neighbor. Dispatch relayed the information to responding officers, categorizing the situation as a neighbor dispute involving possible assault. What was emphasized to officers and what was minimized would later become a point of contention. In domestic or neighborhood disturbance calls, police are generally expected to assess safety, separate involved parties, identify potential victims, and determine whether a crime has occurred. At the time of the call, there was no indication that the caller herself was suspected of wrongdoing. Subtly, however, the framing of the call shifted once officers arrived, changing how the situation was approached. Jacqueline Craig was a mother living in Fort Worth with her children. Her role within the household was primary caregiver. Prior to the incident, her daily routine involved managing her children's needs, maintaining the household, and navigating typical neighborhood interactions. There is no public record indicating ongoing disputes with law enforcement or a criminal history that would have influenced police expectations. Craig had lived in the neighborhood long enough to be familiar with surrounding residents. There is limited documentation showing any long-standing conflicts with neighbors, though proximity and shared spaces created regular interactions. Her prior contact with police, if any, was minimal and not part of official narratives following the arrest. Her social position, as a Black woman, a mother, and a renter in a residential area, played a role in how authority was exercised during the encounter. These contextual factors are not explicitly noted in police documentation, which instead focuses narrowly on behavior observed in a short window of time. What remains undocumented are Craig's prior actions leading up to the call, her expectations of assistance, and her understanding of the legal process unfolding around her. At the time of the incident, Craig had multiple children present, including daughters old enough to communicate clearly and one younger son who was at the center of the initial complaint. The son was reported to have been grabbed or choked by a neighbor during a confrontation. According to family accounts, this interaction prompted the 911 call.
Why are you yelling at me?
Because you just me out telling me what I teach my kids and what I don't.
If you keep yelling at me, you're going to me off and I'm going to take you to jail.
Okay.
You're under arrest. Get up! Get on the ground! Get on the ground now! Get on the ground! You resist arrest, you're going to jail. You, get on the ground now! On the ground now!
Don't move! Don't move! You on live! Everything you just did is on live. I promise you that. I didn't do nothing. You on live.
Hands behind your back.
You on live. Bitch, I'm glad you went live. Bitch, you on live.
Get on the ground!
What are you?
Anybody else that interferes, they're going to jail too. Get up. Get up. P22, come here. Get up. P22. Get up. Get up. You want to go to jail too? Come on. Come on.
$224.45. That way, I'll be good.
Everything you said is a lie.
10-4-6-2-52 any other unit?
I promise you. Hey!
You are under arrest for interfering.
24-17 Rock Friday.
You are under arrest for interfering.
I was trying to back up.
Yeah. It's called interfering.
Away from you.
10-4-7-2-2
Get back or you're going to jail too.
I don't care.
Get back.
Any other units will be assessed?
Get back.
This is hurting my arms. I am 15 years old. This is
Get in the car.
Oh, that's it.
Get in the car. Y'all started this. Get in now. Get in. Get in the car. Get in the car. Okay, me too. Get in the car. Get in the car.
You want to interrupt? Okay.
You a pig. And I recorded every thing you just did. When you kicked up it was recorded.
Okay, you're going to jail too. Interference. That phone is evidence.
No.
Let go of the phone.
He can't take my phone, can he?
You touch again, you're going to jail.
Statements from the children indicated that the neighbor initiated physical contact. These accounts were given verbally at the scene and later referenced in legal proceedings. However, children's statements are often treated cautiously in police responses, especially when adults dispute their accounts. In this case, there were discrepancies between what the children reported and what was documented in police reports. Details describing the alleged assault on the child were minimal in official paperwork. The focus of attention shifted quickly away from the child and toward the behavior of the adults present. This redirection resulted in gaps between the original reason for the call and the actions ultimately taken by police. The confrontation between Craig's family and the neighbor occurred shortly before police arrived. Accounts suggest that a verbal disagreement escalated into physical contact involving the child. There is no public record of independent witnesses confirming or denying the interaction beyond the involved parties. In police reports, the neighbor was not treated as a suspect in the same manner as Craig. The reports provide limited detail about the neighbor's actions and do not indicate whether the neighbor was detained, questioned extensively, or cited. No arrest was made related to the alleged assault on the child. This imbalance in focus would later raise questions about investigative priorities. The lack of visible enforcement action against the neighbor stands in contrast to the rapid escalation involving Craig and her daughter. Multiple officers from the Fort Worth Police Department responded to the call. Among them was Officer William Martin. Body cameras were present, though not all footage was immediately released or referenced in early statements. The first moments of the encounter were marked by verbal commands and attempts to establish control. The initial tone used by officers was authoritative and directive. Instructions were given, and questioning began. Rather than separating parties to gather statements independently, officers addressed Craig directly in front of others. Control of the scene was asserted through proximity, posture, and volume. Within minutes, the power dynamic shifted. Craig, who had initiated contact with police seeking assistance, was now being questioned as a potential problem. This transition occurred without a clear explanation given at the scene. The situation escalated through a series of verbal exchanges. Questions posed by officers were met with responses that did not align with expectations of compliance. Body language, including gestures and movement, was interpreted as resistance. As the exchange continued, the questioning became confrontational. Officers issued warnings, and Craig questioned their handling of the situation. Compliance, as expected by law enforcement, appeared to require silence and physical stillness. The precise moment the encounter became physical occurred when an officer attempted to restrain Craig. The action was sudden and resulted in her being taken to the ground. This shift marked the end of verbal engagement and the beginning of physical enforcement. The arrest unfolded in a series of rapid steps. Craig was physically restrained, placed on the ground, and handcuffed. During this process, her daughter intervened verbally and physically, attempting to question the officer's actions. The daughter was also restrained. A stun gun was drawn and pointed at her, though it was not discharged. The presence of the weapon escalated the situation further and was captured on video. Police reports later described resistance and interference. However, video footage taken by a family member showed a sequence of events that appeared less clear-cut. The timing, level of force, and justification presented in written reports differed from what viewers could observe on screen. The footage was recorded by one of Craig's daughters using a cell phone. The recording began after officers arrived and continued through the arrest. The decision to record was not coordinated. It was a spontaneous response to the unfolding situation. Once uploaded online, the video spread rapidly across social media platforms. News organizations obtained copies and broadcast segments nationally. Viewers saw physical restraint, raised voices, and a stun gun aimed at a teenager. Official statements urged the public to wait for all facts. However, the visual evidence created immediate scrutiny. Social media amplification ensured that the footage reached millions before internal reviews were completed. The public reaction was swift, though interpretations varied. What remained consistent was that the video became central to how the case was understood, outweighing written summaries and official explanations. In the days following the arrest, the Fort Worth Police Department released initial statements describing the incident as a response to disorderly conduct and interference with police duties. Officials stated that officers acted according to training and policy while attempting to control a volatile scene. These statements emphasized officer safety, resistance, and failure to comply with commands. Press releases were carefully worded. They avoided detailed descriptions of physical force and instead relied on general language such as escalation, non-compliance, and necessary force. The department announced an internal review, framing it as a standard procedure rather than a response to public concern. The release of cell phone video complicated this narrative. The The footage showed the timing of commands, the proximity of officers, and the speed at which force was used. Several claims made in official summaries, particularly regarding resistance and threat assessment, were not clearly observable in the video. The footage did not show aggressive movement prior to physical restraint, nor did it clearly support claims of imminent danger. Language used by the department focused on officer discretion and split-second decision-making. This framing placed interpretation above documentation, allowing written reports to coexist with visual contradictions without direct reconciliation. Following the arrest, charges were filed against Jacqueline Craig and her daughter. Craig faced charges related to resisting arrest and interference, while her daughter was charged with similar offenses. These charges shifted the legal focus from the initial 911 complaint to the conduct of the family during the police response. Court proceedings extended over months. Hearings were postponed, and procedural delays slowed resolution. During this period, video evidence became central. Defense attorneys sought to include the cell phone footage and body camera recordings, while prosecutors evaluated whether the evidence supported the original charges. Eventually, the charges against both Craig and her daughter were dismissed. The stated rationale was insufficient evidence to proceed. No formal acknowledgement of wrongdoing accompanied the dismissal. The decision ended the criminal case without addressing discrepancies between police accounts and video evidence. No officers involved faced criminal charges.
No.
Let go of the phone.
He can't take my phone, Kenny.
You touch again, you're going to jail.
He can't take my phone, Kenny. He can't take my phone, Kenny.
Yes, I can. Let go of the phone.
He can't take my phone.
Hold on, the phone with a few people.
Record it. And I'm still recording.
Me too. Except mine's in HD.
South 222, what's going on at this location?
You recorded, baby. You recorded. You recorded. You're a pig.
Oh, I got 3 in custody. I think it's starting to calm down a little bit. Okay.
You gonna get
How old are you?
fired. You gonna get fired.
You.
Record this.
I know. Yes. You understand?
Come around here.
I got 3 in custody. I need a back seat.
Come around here.
Anybody else comes over here and interferes, they're going to jail too.
Yes, record this.
Don't know what's
Record this. You recorded. My recorded. You recorded.
See this right here?
You on live.
This is a camera too.
You on live. Police cameras ain't real. You on live. Police cameras ain't real.
Yeah.
I know. I already know. Police cameras ain't real. They built for you. Police cameras ain't real, and I ain't worried. And I ain't worried. And I got you kick her.
How old are you?
I saw you kick her. I got
How old
you
are
on
you?
live. I got you on live.
Okay.
Kicking her.
How old are you?
I have you on live.
What's your
kicking her.
name?
I have you on live.
What's your
kicking her.
name?
I have you on live. kicking
What
her.
is your name?
I have you on live kicking her.
You want to tell me what your name? What's your name is?
Let go your back up.
Okay.
Let go your back up. I got you on live. I got you on live. I got everything on live on my mama. Everything is on live. Everything is on live.
Get in there.
Everything is on live.
Get in the car.
Everything is on live recording. Everything.
10-4 units, copy assist with South 812 at 6333
Yeah, I do her.
Woodway.
Yeah.
820, show me in route. 1556. South, you do want everything. Okay, 24 hour days.
You got Crown Vic key?
22 crossing.
It's in the ignition, so I got it. What's your date of birth?
08. Your sergeant is here. You kicked my sister. You're not.
Yeah, I did.
South 222.
Go ahead.
Just making sure everything's okay at this time. We did get an additional update from an additional call taker saying that they were screaming in the background at this location.
Yeah, everybody's calm down.
That's all clear.
Who's kicking my door? Was that you?
It don't matter. You kicked me.
Yeah.
You kicked me on my
When a
phone.
police officer tells you to get in the car, you get in the car.
I don't know how to. I'm 15 years old.
The conclusion of the case did not include public findings of misconduct, policy violation, or excessive force. After the dismissal of criminal charges, Craig filed a federal civil rights lawsuit against the city of Fort Worth. The lawsuit alleged violations of constitutional rights, including unlawful arrest and excessive force. It argued that Craig's actions did not justify the level of force used and that the officer's conduct deviated from reasonable standards. Craig's legal team cited video evidence, witness accounts, and inconsistencies in police reports. The complaint focused on the transformation of a complainant into a defendant within minutes, without proper investigation of the initial allegation involving the child. The city of Fort Worth denied liability. Its defense strategy relied on qualified immunity, officer discretion, and adherence to departmental policy. The city argued that officers reasonably perceived resistance and acted accordingly. Settlement negotiations occurred without a trial. In 2022, the city agreed to a $150,000 settlement. The agreement explicitly stated that the settlement did not constitute an admission of wrongdoing. While it resolved the lawsuit, it did not require policy changes, disciplinary action, or public acknowledgement of error. Following the settlement, there were no public announcements detailing disciplinary outcomes for the officers involved. Employment records indicated that the primary officer remained employed with the department for a period following the incident. Any internal discipline, if applied, was not publicly disclosed. The police department did not release a detailed internal review report. Statements emphasized closure rather than analysis. No formal apology was issued. Promised evaluations of training and procedure were not accompanied by measurable changes. Similar cases nationwide followed comparable patterns: public video, internal review, civil settlement, and limited transparency. The absence of accountability mechanisms reinforced institutional silence rather than resolution. For Craig and her family, the aftermath extended beyond court proceedings. Public exposure placed the family under sustained scrutiny. Media coverage focused on the arrest video rather than the original reason for police involvement. Craig became associated with the incident in public discourse, regardless of the dismissal of charges. This visibility brought consequences not recorded in legal filings, including disruptions to daily life, employment challenges, and prolonged legal stress. The burden of becoming a reference point in discussions about policing was not offset by institutional support. These long-term stressors were not considered compensable damages and were largely absent from formal evaluations of harm. In September 2023, Jacqueline Craig died at the age of 53. Public announcements described her passing without detailing cause beyond illness. Statements were brief and factual. Media coverage referenced her involvement in the 2016 arrest and the subsequent lawsuit, often summarizing her life through the lens of the viral video. Few reports revisited unresolved aspects of the case or the broader implications of her legal struggle. Her death marked a definitive end to her ability to challenge official narratives. Questions regarding accountability, institutional learning, and reform remained unanswered. This case highlights how domestic and neighborhood disturbance calls can shift rapidly in focus. A request for assistance became an enforcement action without resolution of the initial complaint. The presence of video altered public understanding, but did not alter institutional outcomes. Citizen-recorded footage now plays a central role in accountability, yet its impact is limited when weighed against internal processes. Narratives often solidify before full evidence is reviewed, shaping outcomes regardless of later clarification. What remains unresolved is whether systemic change occurred as a result of this case. The procedures that allowed escalation were neither publicly dismantled nor transparently defended.
Downgrade the assault. Over.
10-4.
What is your name?
You know my name.
Okay. Tell me your name.
You know my name. You know my name.
Are you refusing to identify?
You know my name. You just told me I had warrants that's what you handcuffed
Right,
me for.
right.
And you know you was a lie. You know my name. You know my name.
Tell me your name or you get an extra charge.
You know my name. Officer, I don't want to deal with him and whatever you need from me.
Answer the man's question. Answer the man's
What is your
question.
name?
I done already told him my name.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Ma'am,
I told him my name.
tell
That's
him
what he
again.
told me.
Tell him again.
I lost my keys somewhere.
All right.
Oh, there.
Here they are.
How old is she? 18? Okay. Okay. Here's the deal. When somebody's under arrest, if anybody interferes, they go to jail too. That's how that works. Right, exactly. You're trying to push her back.
Well, I don't know this. I'm 15 years old. How I'm going to know what I'm supposed to do and what not to do.
You're Jacqueline Craig, right?
He got mad at
Are you
me
Jacqueline Craig?
what I said. Yes, I am.
Okay.
He got mad at me for saying what I said. That's why he did it. But it's all recorded. It's all recorded.
South 222 PIC.
It's all recorded. Him kicking you and all. It's all recorded.
He confirms some warrants. Last name Craig, C-R-A-I-G. First name Jacqueline, J-A-C-Q-U-E-L-I-N-E. Black female, 9/10 of 70.
Yeah.
Young, and what's your last name?
My last name is Hyman.
Spell it.
H-Y-M-O-N-D.
First name.
Jaquez.
Spell it.
J-A-C-Q-U-E-S.
Birthday.
02-14-01.
All right. We'll need one transport her since she's a juvenile.
Sir, other
Yeah,
police,
thank you.
don't say nothing. Don't say nothing.
Yes. That's one of her.
The case of Jacqueline Craig is officially closed. Charges were dismissed. A lawsuit was settled. Records were archived. Yet examination remained incomplete. Evidence exists in multiple forms: video, reports, testimony. But acknowledgement of contradictions was limited. The legal process resolved liability without resolving truth. The cost of calling for help was not measured solely in financial terms. What persists beyond paperwork is a record of decisions made, explanations offered, and questions left unaddressed.